All right, what's up, Heyo? I'm here with Big Time Dunn, senior referee.
You know what? We don't know. We're all equal here at AIW.
Fair enough. I just like to call you senior
Because I'm old.
We're the same age, I think.
Sure.
Anyway, so a question got asked on the podcast, and we had been talking about it. Said I was going to come around and ask everyone some questions. Greatest AIW superstar of all time. Greatest AIW superstar of all time.
You know, on the show, John said Johnny. I think it's got to be Johnny.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had other guys. Ray Rowe went on to be Eric in the Viking Raiders.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of
Zion. But Johnny was everything.
How much you suck.
He's getting heckled right now.
Hey, how's it going?
Get out of here. I'm bad at these as it is.
But I mean, so that's the thing too. What's the criteria? We've talked about, is it how far you've gone? Is it, how much you've accomplished, or is it how much you connect with fans? I mean, there's a lot of, different,
But I think Johnny embodies everything,
Okay.
Local, and he started off here and he just worked his way up, and he's in WWE now. He's a superstar, but he was a big star for us too. It wasn't just a stop.
Right.
You know, Johnny was AIW, so it's got to be that.
Going with Gargano?
Yeah,
all right. Big time. So that's 2 technically for Gargano.
Yeah.
I said Ryan Kaplan, but that's just me.
He's second. He's my second.
There you go. All right, he's your backup. There you go. Fair enough. All right, thanks, Tom.
Sure.
What are we doing? I don't know what we're doing. That's good. I want you to be surprised. Hey, back again. Round 2 legs here. I'm here with Pedro DeLuca. So I've been asking everybody, been going around. We talked about in the podcast, greatest AIW superstar of all time. Oh, it's a loaded one. That's a tough one. There's a lot. Hey, Monsoon, what's up, buddy?
Doing stuff again.
Time Dunn's working again. This is crazy.
Like you almost have to put, I don't want to say levels, but like there's different criteria.
That's what I said. What is the criteria? Right.
I mean, from a draw standpoint, I would have to go with like Johnny Gargano.
It's been a bold pick so far. Not bold pick. It's been the majority pick is what I meant to say. Not bold.
But like big picture, Shima Zion. And the reason I say Shima Zion, okay, not only because he was a Triple Crown champion, but he was kind of like the connection to the Pittsburgh guys,
okay,
in the early days of AIW, and also, if it wasn't for Shima Zion, there would never have been like Steve Payne, Gringo Loco, Commander.
Commander, that was a good one.
What was the other guy? Azrael. There was a lot of. I think actually Shima might even had a hand in Jack Evans coming to AIW.
Wow.
Don't quote me. I'm not sure 100% about that one, but like Shima was like the liaison to like that lucha libre culture. So like big picture, you would have to put Shima Zion in that category just because of who he was able to like expand the AIW universe to.
Fair.
Again, you would have to put Ethan Page in that conversation because, back in the Mount Carmel days, maybe even in a little bit of the Turner's Hall days, like I'm an old man, so I can't really remember everything. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. But like, he brought in Brent Banks. I think he was instrumental in maybe Tyson Dukes coming down. So, I mean, there's a lot from Canada that came down because of Ethan Page, a Space Monkey,
Space Monkey.
Sleazy Spart. I mean, you got like put like conditions and like brackets and
so
like,
that was part of the fun. We just went out, it just said, give us, just start talking, I guess, and then we'll go from there. That was kind of the fun part of it. That's what I said. There's so much criteria.
Now you put that in there, you might have to go with Ethan Page overall because like, I think he had a hand in Josh Alexander coming in. I think he had a little bit to do with like Michael Elgin coming in. I mean, we kind of need to like have a round table here because I don't know all the, because that era I wasn't doing the job I'm doing now, so I wasn't privy to a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, like who was responsible for bringing guys in.
Yeah. But
I think Ethan Page, Shima Zion, Johnny Gargano. I mean, if it wasn't for Josh Prohibition, a lot of these guys wouldn't even be a wrestler. So.
That was one I mentioned on the show too. Yeah, J Pro is definitely on the list.
Man, and then like Wow, I would really like to like sit across the table from like. Obviously, we can't have Biggins there, but I mean, like, we would need to do some like fact checking and find out who
We need
was
Wadsworth. Where's Wadsworth?
who was. I don't even know if because there was a time Wadsworth wasn't even with us, so I'm not sure if Wadsworth would even know who was instrumental in bringing us this vast array of talent. So like, there's a lot of conditions and asterisks and that kind of thing that you got to put in there.
I said we should do a roundtable pod about this one time. I feel like if we get through, 4 or 5 of us in a room, we could have a long form discussion of all this.
Like,
It'd be fun.
if we were gonna like do a tournament to find out who the greatest, I think our finals would be Johnny, Ethan, and Shima. That would be.
If you got to go 4, who's the 4? If we're going 4-way, as AIW does sometimes, who would be those 4? Final 4.
Man, you gotta. But then again, like Alex, there was like a year straight. Alex Shelley was like a main piece, like working with the young talent, doing stuff. I don't know that I put Alex Shelley on that Mount Rushmore, but I mean, you really got to put Josh Prohibition in there.
That was what I said too. Yeah, he was on my list for sure. So,
really, I'm trying to think like earlier. This is going to piss some people off and like shock some people, but like the longest tenured person in AIW is the Duke.
Oh, dude! So we're putting Duke. I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
I mean,
I'm fine with that pick.
I mean, seriously, like Duke is the longest. I mean, Duke actually outlasts me in tenure. So,
man, we can't show him this.
I know, but like, I mean, if you were asking me who the greatest heel in AIW, you would have to put Duke very high on that list.
Yeah, I would think he's pretty.
But I think my Mount Rushmore is going to be Prohibition, Gargano, Page, and Shima.
Zion, okay.
And to pick a winner out of those 4, but damn, now that I see him across the room, like, you got to put Dom in there somehow. If it wasn't for Dom, we wouldn't have this generation, this new generation. Damn,
he's
all right. We got to get.
He's
Johnny
fundamental
Gargano.
in a lot that happens in AIW right now. That's very true.
We're going to take the ropes off the ring, and we're going to bring Johnny, Ethan, Shima, all back from WWE. We're just going to have a shoot cut battle royal.
Okay, I like it.
That's how we're going to decide the winner.
Fair enough. All right. Well, thanks for your time. Appreciate you, Pedro.
No problem.
Thank you. This guy's always lurking over here.
Oh, Jesus. Just cut it. Just cut it.
Always lurking, this guy.
Wait a minute.
Hey now. Hey, yo, back again, this time with AIW statistician, president. You got a lot of titles. I don't even know what to call you, Wadsworth, but Matt Wadsworth here. I'm going to pose the same question I posed to a lot of people today. We talked about in the pod. There was, we thought it was a good roundtable kind of discussion. Greatest AIW superstar of all time.
So I have to cheat a little bit, and I guess you could almost call it generations with the pick. First one that always comes to mind is obviously Johnny Gargano.
That's been a pick today. Yeah, people,
and not even just, I mean, because of what Johnny meant, but when you look at what Johnny did in AIW, it really spans his entire independent career. So you started with, Johnny's first match in AIW, he was 17 years old.
Wow.
He was just starting out in professional wrestling. He had a handful of matches under his belt. Spans through till he was one of the biggest names on the independents, and he was still here in AIW.
Still a Cleveland guy,
and did so much. Was an absolute champion, was an intense champion. Went from kind of helping establish the intense division when it started, and what that would be and what that would look like. Became one of the top guys. Was the guy that you'd put in there with all the, the big star names when they would come in.
Yeah, the people coming in.
And, to really bring it full circle, to go to SummerSlam weekend. And as WWE Tag Team Champion, comes back into the AIW ring, talks about what AIW meant. During his time in NXT, we'd cut promos when they were in Cleveland and talk about what AIW meant in his career. So both because of what he's meant to AIW and because of what he accomplished here in AIW, and because it's just such a cool ability to look at his career. And I think I had to say generationally, because a guy who I think honestly gives him a run for his money, if you look at the run he's had, is Josh Bishop.
Okay. That was another name people have thrown around today.
Icon, his span there from 2020 on through till basically until he got injured earlier this year, is insane, the things he was doing. And he, much like Johnny's career, he hit a point, he held the absolute title, he held that down for so long, and he's at a point where he doesn't even necessarily have to be in the absolute title picture, because any match he's in is a big deal. And that was the same point that Johnny reached in his career. He almost transcended the title picture.
Fair enough.
And Josh is at that point now where it's sure you can drop him into a title shot at any given time, and it's acceptable, it's believable,
right?
But at the same time, it's almost about finding challenges for him, with the Masato Tanakas, the Lance Hoyts, and those types of matches he's had. So I think it's almost 1A and 1B. I think Josh has really made great strides, and he actually has done something Johnny didn't. He's one of 4 guys that was a Grand Slam champion here at AIW. Johnny never held the tag titles.
That's true.
So
fair enough.
I think it's right there, and I'd be hard-pressed to pick between the two.
Okay. Well, thank you for your answer. Appreciate that. Thanks, Matt. All right. Hey, yo, here again with Monsoon Classic this time. I definitely want to get this guy's opinion. He's been around forever. He's a trusted mind in AIW. So, Monsoon Classic, greatest AIW superstar of all time.
Just going to go with the first reflex. Greatest referee, Tom Dunn. Greatest wrestler, Johnny Gargano. I mean, if you take the longevity, the excellence, the up and at him he's been ever since leaving AIW. I mean, you can't go wrong with him.
Me and Thorne said, too, a big one for Gargano, the connection to the city, being from here, the fact that he went to all the shows as a kid, you know what I mean? Like, he came here as a kid, watched these shows, and then you end up wrestling here, then you go on to WWE. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
Homegrown.
Yeah, homegrown. That was
and Ascension was the word I was kind of come up with before.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. What do you got? Let's go top 4 then. Overall, number 1, you got Pedro rattled off a long list. So if you feel like you got any more, or even maybe an honorable mention, feel free to throw honorable mentions in there. I know you started with Tom Dunn, but that's just because he's standing there.
Oh, that's him. Josh Bishop, you got to throw in there.
Bishop is a great one.
He's been racking up the years, and he's been racking up the title defenses, and I mean, like, he is built for bigger and better things.
Oh yeah,
doesn't get much bigger or better than AIW, but we know what we're talking about. National TV, things like that. Let's see here. I get the warm fuzzies when I think of Tim Donst. I think Turner's Hall. I think of all the main events he had, and I can remember packing up the concession stand and hearing that. Tell me the name of that song. I actually don't remember the name of it.
Heartjacker? Yeah, that's it. God, you put me on the spot there. That's not my genre.
Where's the music, man? I'm sorry. But I know he hasn't been around.
What if I wouldn't have known that? I look like a real ass, dude. He hasn't been around in a long time. Fuck.
But
steel trap up here.
Yeah. So that's 4 if you count Tom Dunn.
Yeah, that works. Cool. So all right. Well, thank you, Monty. Appreciate you. I'm coming back later for a hot dog.
Very good. Very good. Save one for you.
Thanks. All right. Hey, yo, we're back again. I'm here this time with the Duke. Well, I don't have the budget for a film or somebody to hold this, so I got to hold this thing myself. But I've been going around today asking everybody. We discussed it on the pod. Greatest AIW superstar of all time. Who you got? Now, and I don't even want to say this, but your name has been thrown out there today. I shouldn't even have told you that because you ain't watching this.
Just a hard pass? Just can't be that guy.
I mean, you have been around. I will give you your credit here, as I did earlier. You have been around, part of this company for a long time, and have put a lot into it. You've been involved in a lot of major storylines. There's been a lot going on with you. So your name was thrown in the hat, and I couldn't disagree.
Is that with or without mustache, though? That's the key.
I'm still mad at you for shaving.
With great mustache comes great responsibility.
Still mad at you for shaving.
I know. Well, real life sometimes jumps in, and when you've got 580 clients, you don't want to memorialize yourself on the company website with a Fu Manchu mustache.
I think it would have got you more clients.
Might have. I don't know. The wrong kind, though. I would have had to move to Fernando Valley or whatever it is.
Palm Springs.
Working for Wicked Pictures. Brazzers.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But that's a hard question. And
there's a lot of facets to it. There's a lot of criteria.
Here's the reason why it's a hard question.
Yes.
Because a lot of really, really, really great people have come through the company, started here, whatever, and gone on to great things.
Yeah.
But that's the most famous AIW superstars, maybe. That's not necessarily someone who's done the most for this particular company.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And on that criteria, so like you can't really say Johnny, you can't really say Ray, you can't really say
Johnny has been the majority answer so far. I don't want to tip the scales, but like I said, you ain't watching this. So I'm going to tell you now. Most people have said Johnny, so
yeah. See, he's great, and
that hometown effect.
He's gone on to great heights, but you have to look at it and say, did he do a lot of great things here? He had a lot of great matches and stuff like that, but it's just kind of one of those things where I know who it isn't. It isn't this person that just made out with me unsolicited and without my consent.
Whoa.
So, yeah. So we're going to have an HR talk when this is over. Yeah.
Who's HR, Jeff? From
I think I'm HR.
You're HR?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
I don't know.
No, that Jeez,
I don't know. So
Kaplan's HR. Kaplan.
So if you look at it that way, it's almost like you say maybe it's Matt Justice.
It's a good name.
Bishop, I think, is too young. He's done a lot, and he's got a lot of eyes on the product. But I would have to go with, since you never want to, self-promote. I would go with Matt Justice.
Okay, fair enough.
My answer.
Fair enough. You want to throw your name in the hat there?
What was the question?
Greatest AIW superstar of all time.
Matt Justice is for sure up there, but how about we throw Sterling James Keenan in there?
Okay.
All right. That's actually not a bad one, because in the point I was making earlier, most of the things he did, like once he left,
right,
he got hurt. He wasn't able to do a lot, get a lot of accolades wrestling wise in WWE, unlike, Johnny or Ray or whatever else.
Yeah.
So if you encapsulate just in that moment, that's actually not a terrible answer either.
I think he laid the groundwork, right? He paved the roads for us to walk across.
It's getting all philosophical on us and shit.
He walked so we could run.
That's it.
There you go.
Or we could fly, however you want to look at it.
Also, so once I'm going to throw this out there, I watched SJK and the Duke have a really good match at West Park Party Center. The Duke, although did punch SJK directly in the face.
Yes, I did, and I told him before we started the match, he goes, "Oh yeah, just do this and then come up and punch me." I said, "Sterling, I don't think you want me to punch you. I don't throw good punches." He said, "Yeah, you'll be fine." Punched him right in the nose. Not on purpose, but I told him. Now, since then, I've developed a pretty decent punch, but back then, it was a little dicey. So
if you ask him,
yeah,
he will mention it to this day that the Duke punched him directly in the head.
Man, I'm gonna try and find that archive to splice that in here.
He will not mention that I warned him ahead of time. He'll leave that part out.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah. Come on. All right. Well, thanks, Duke and Derek. Appreciate you guys. Thanks. Hey, yo, we're back here again. This time with AIW referee Jake Clemens.
Hey, yo.
I've been asking everybody all day. We talked about in the pod. AIW's greatest superstar, all time best AIW superstar. A lot of criteria. There's been a lot of discussion on what the criteria is. Yada yada. But any way you want it, freestyle. What's your first thought?
First thought that comes to mind is Johnny Gargano, like Thorne said on the pod.
Been a popular pick today.
Johnny Gargano. There's also Colin Delaney.
So that was one I think I mentioned.
And then the third and most controversial. Controversy creates cash.
Love controversy.
And cash is king.
Oh, wow.
The Duke.
Ooh, so that somebody else has said that. That is now more than one.
Who was the other one?
Mention of the Duke. I believe Wadsworth said that. No, it was Pedro. I believe Pedro said that.
Me and Pedro always on the same wavelength.
Pedro mentioned the Duke, which I couldn't disagree with. The amount, like I said, the amount of storylines he's been in. He's been around for a long time. He's been an integral part of the company. So I didn't disagree with the Duke. You may say hot take, but I'm with you.
That's a hot take.
All right. Any other honorable mention or anything you want to throw in there?
Honorable mention, Josh Prohibition.
Prohibition's a good one.
Man, it's so tough because so much talent has come through this company.
Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, how do you even define? Me and John Thorne said big one. Just connection to the city. That's why Gargano was just a big hometown one.
Yeah.
That was Prohibition for that one as well.
I have another one.
Go ahead.
The Passion, John Thorne.
Oh, so that's a good. He's a player coach. He does it all.
He is a player coach.
He's on the pod. He's an audio guy. Does everything, man. You're right.
Wrestles Hornswoggle at Absolution.
That was a great match.
Yeah, it was a great match.
Look, I watched that recently. The look on Hornswoggle's face when he comes through is good stuff.
Because he looks up to me and he grabs me and he goes, Make sure he's low on the clothesline with fear in his eyes.
Oh, God, that's fantastic. All right. Anybody else you want to throw out there?
I think that's it.
Fair
the
enough.
Mount Rushmore.
There you go. All right. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, yo, back here this time with our guy, Jeff from Corporate, Razor Sharp.
What up?
Razor, I'm going to ask you the same thing I've been asking everybody all day today. Greatest AIW superstar of all time. Hit me.
Ooh, Johnny Gargano.
Johnny Gargano. All right.
Yep.
Tell me why.
Just how he knows the game and how he's been teaching the youngies and
He was the coach for the school instructor for a while.
Yeah, him and Candace.
Yep.
So yeah, he's got it all. He's got it.
I think that pop at SummerSlam weekend AIW against the World when he came through the curtain, I think that pop that he got that was kind of the definitive answer for this question, right?
Oh yeah.
Kick ass. All right, thanks, Razor man.
No problem.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.